start, as always, just an exceptional player, Tomas Giello. And you'll also notice today that Sebastian Saiz does not start for Ole Miss. Their 6'9" junior got poked in the eye in the last outing against Memphis. That means that Mark Canvas Hyman will start for the Rebels. We do know that Saiz is available. Don't know how much he will be used today for Andy Kennedy. So Ole Miss for the opening possession of the game.
Dave, you'll notice that Troy will start out in a 1-1-3. It goes back to a 2-3 matchup zone. They'll play that and switch defenses all day.
Moody off the mark. Chased down in the corner by Jeremy Holloman, the redshirt junior out of Gulfport, Mississippi. John Walton III. Off to Wesley Person, the 6'3 sophomore out of Brantley, Alabama. He has been on a three-point tear. 39 straight games with a three.
Yeah, leads the nation with consecutive three-point shots, and this is more of the pace that Ole Miss wants.
Brooks steps inside the three-point line. The junior knocks it home, averaging just shy of 8 a game.
Yeah, Rasheed Brooks has really stepped to the platform, 15.5 and shooting 70% over the last couple of games. Saw him practice earlier before the season started.
Inside, blocked and swatted away by Hyman. His 14th block of the year to tie for the team lead. Long three. Moody can't get it to go. Rebound to Holloman. Holloman just inside the circle. That's a two. Tell you what, for this Troy team, they score points at a pretty good clip, 76 a game. Their problem is they're giving up almost 76 a game.
Well, they're still trying to build a program. Phil Cunningham, obviously the assistant under Coach Rick Stansbury at Mississippi State. Kind of fitting that he's here for this last game in the Tad.
Yellow misses badly. Little run out. Peace gets it to Holloman. Peace has it slapped out of his hands. A foul against the Rebels with 7:52 on the clock. Let's see who that'll go against. Yellow picks it up. There is Phil Cunningham, third season at Troy. Longtime assistant over in Starkville. Tell you what, when he was at Mississippi State, they had some success in this building with Stansbury now.
Most certainly. Coach Rick Stansbury doing a good job with Billy Kennedy over at Texas A&M. Nice win against Baylor earlier this week.
Strong move, powerful move by Jordan Fernardo at 6'6". His brother Jarvis, when he was at Mississippi State, was at 6'9".
Jarvis was more of a shot blocker, run the floor a lot longer.
Here's Peace. Wesley Person. Bernardo lines it up high, arching shot. It'll belong to Ole Miss. Andy Kennedy now in his 10th year here with the Rebels, the school's all-time winningest coach. Just picked up his 201st victory a couple of days ago as this Rebel team went up to Memphis and knocked off the Tigers. Perez had it knocked out of his hands. Here's Peace flying down the floor. Did Moody get up high enough to block? We're going to say goaltending on Stephon Moody at 5'10". Don't see that a lot.
You don't see that a lot, and Moody's saying his bad because he knows he should have been back as a, woohoo. I don't know about that one.
It looked like he got the ball before the backboard.
Better be glad that wasn't pickup basketball. We'd still be complaining about that call.
Martavius Newby slices through with the left hand. Well, we've got a near capacity crowd here on the final game inside Tad Smith Coliseum. 50 years of basketball coming to a close.
A lot of success here, Dave. You know, they have won Coach Andy Kennedy 80% of their games here in the Tad Pad. Obviously, we know about the success first 9 seasons. Only third behind 2 pretty good coaches in Joe B. Hall at Kentucky and, of course, Billy Donovan. Outstanding job here at Ole Miss.
Loose basketball taken out of there by John Walton III, the senior, out of Memphis. In the corner, it goes to Holloman. He'll go baseline now, working on Hyman. And Hyman gets the errant shot off to Moody. Brooks, open 3, that's off the mark. Person had it for a moment, slapped out of his hands, and it'll belong to Troy. Got our first timeout, and Troy out in front by a couple of points. Some history behind Tad Smith Coliseum. We'll talk about it when we come back to Oxford. Network Basketball is brought to you by Belk, the home of modern Southern style. Visit Belk.com today. Cost $1.8 million to build back in 1964. Tad Smith Coliseum, some of the early shots. 50 years, some great players have come through here. How about Sean Toohey? Boy, he was a great teammate if you like to score because he'd give you the basketball. The SEC's all-time assist leader. Gerald Glass, how about the night he put 53 on LSU? Team that featured Chris Jackson, Shaquille O'Neal. The lights, I think they might have got shut out that night. There was so much offense in the building. Dave Neal back alongside my partner, Damian Fishback. And Fish, you played at Auburn and obviously been in here a few times. Some thoughts about this building as a former player in the league?
You know, Dave, you always remember it was a challenging place to play. So many good players, Keith Carter, Michael White, who's now over at Florida, Reed, Lockhart. You always knew when you came to Oxford, in the Tad Pad, you had a difficult game.
Intimate settings, 9,500 folks been through here. Matter of fact, for those historians out there, Larry Conley, our good buddy, scored the first basket. He'll tell you it was like a 25-foot jumper, but it was actually a layup. Johnny Newman had the record, 57 points against Southern Miss. 489 wins in this building. And you know what? When you think about Andy Kennedy, he has put together a nice little run in this building as well. He has won 160 some odd games in here. 125, excuse me, 125 and 31. 80% of the time he has won inside the Tad Pad. Troy up by 2, coming out of the timeout. They get a decent shot, can't get it to go. Loose ball. Taken away by Newby. It's a little run out. Moody. Back to Newby. He'll try again. That won't go. Hyman's shot won't work.
It's like it's a lid over the basket on both sides. Not customary. Both of these teams like to get up and down and score.
Reverse layup. The follow won't go. Bernardo had a chance for the tap. Well, Perez tried to bring the crowd to their feet, and all he did was throw it over the rim. Did that kind of start for the Rebels offensively? They are now 2 of 11 to start this game. Person, nice ball fake. Jordan not much better. They're 3 of 11. And a foul underneath. That'll go against Troy. And against John Walton III, that'll be his first.
Well, Dave, Ole Miss doing a good job of getting out in transition, but Anthony Perez just, I guess, not loose enough or took off a little bit too far. We mentioned we thought that there was a lid on the rim. Both teams just missing shots here early, which is surprising because at both practices last night, I was very surprised. Both teams actually shot the basketball extremely well.
Moody. Well, not exactly how you draw up the inbounds play, but it worked for Ole Miss, and Moody on the board. His first basket after missing 3 straight shots to start this game. Moody averaging 23.8 points a game. Yara Moravec off the mark. 3 international players on this Troy team. Moravec from Slovakia. O'Reilly from Canada. And Hopkins from Finland. Speaking of international, there's one right there for Ole Miss. Yellow from Poland.
Wow. Neither team very solid right now. Just sloppy with the basketball.
Well, this is like pickup basketball, and Andy Kennedy is furious. He's furious that there was no foul called, but not real happy with his offensive flow.
Well, you talked about they're not sure that they drew up the play like that, but Stephon Moody, that's what makes him so good. Even at 5'10", with the 47-inch vertical leap, he can score inside amongst the trees.
So Moody with 2, Brooks has 2, Newby has 2 for Ole Miss. On the other side, Peace 2, Holloman 2, and Bernardo 2. Yellow taps it in.
Tomas Gielo had 10 points and 3 rebounds in the start, and a nice victory on the road at Memphis in Ole Miss's last game.
Traveling violation against Yara Moravec. Sebastian Saiz wearing the goggles, got poked in the eye against Memphis late in the game, about 8 minutes left to go in that game, and has been to the doctor a couple of times, even early this morning. Got cleared to come to shoot around and felt like he was good enough to go. Don't know if we will see him today or not, but you wonder, the question begs, Yellow's 3 is good. Not having a guy that plays 30 minutes a night in the post, play a lot of minutes for you, does have an impact offensively for Ole Miss.
Sure, he's critical. You know, he's their inside presence, their toughness also. He's 4th in the rebound, or 4th in the league, 2nd in the league in rebounding at 10.3 a game. So he's dearly missed. I think Coach Andy Kennedy doesn't want to use him if he doesn't have to.
Wesley Person goes inside. Young man, they call Tat around Troy.
He has an incredible bloodline, Wesley Person and Chuck Person both that played at Auburn.
Timeout on the floor. A little bit sloppy here in Oxford. Get this one started, but Ole Miss up by 3. 11:56 to go, opening half. League, Avery Johnson at Alabama. What can you say about the Crimson Tide and the job that he has done with that group? Some big wins already.
Very impressed with all 3 coaches. Coach Avery Johnson with quality wins over Wichita State and Notre Dame. Almost got Oregon last night. Had a tough second half. Rick Barnes doing a sensational job having his guys compete. And then Ben Howland, they're struggling a little bit, but he'll get it together with 3 Final Fours already.
Well, as you take a look at the Tad Smith Coliseum, this is the last time the Rebels will ever set foot in this building. Talking to Andy Kennedy, they will have their practice facility just up the road. They'll go there, and then January 4th, they will get their first opportunity to practice in there, and then January 7th, they will open up the building. $96.5 million. It'll be used for men's and women's basketball, concerts, other community events as well. Magnificent building, and they're still over there cleaning it up, getting it spruced up, making it all nice. I tried to go over there today, but they won't let me in there. Trying to keep it secret.
You know, what was intriguing to me was the difference in the price range. A little different, right? A little unique. 1.8 versus 96.5.
I walked over there, tried to get in there, and they handed me a hard hat and a hammer, and I said, I think I'll go the other way. I think I go there. Thanks. It is a beautiful building.
Let's see if we can get this shooting turned around. Team shooting a combined 1 of 10 from the 3-point line. Ole Miss 16%, and Troy with the goose egg from behind the 3-point arc right now.
And Damien, we've got a Terry Brutus sighting. He checks in right away, though. Troy goes right to the basket with Daniel Peace, the junior, with the layup, but Terry Brutus hasn't played a whole lot this year. He's been banged up with injuries. Getting some action here in the first half against Troy. 1-point Rebel lead. Troy at 5-5, Ole Miss 9-2. Ole Miss's losses have come to George Mason by 6 and Seton Hall. They lose by a dozen. Matter of fact, Seton Hall also beat this Troy team earlier this year, 78-69.
Seton Hall's got a quality team, one of the better teams out of the Big East that's playing well this year.
Moravec steps back, knocks it down. He's averaging just over 3 a game, shooting 37% from the field. 6'8", 240-pounder from Slovakia. Yellow. Here's Brooks. Yellow lines it up. Boy, it's hard to stop that for the big fella. 6'9".
You know, Coach Cunningham talked about him the entire practice. He said, we have to know where he is on the floor. He's a stretch four. He will move in and out. They just lost sight of him on that particular possession.
Andy Kennedy was telling us today about how much he loves a young man, but can be frustrating at times. Expects him to do a lot of things on the court. Andy Kennedy demands a lot out of his players, and certainly when you look at him and what he can do, he's going to be a mismatch for a lot of teams all year at 6'9".
Well, in a year where the seniors have truly thrived, you expect him, a senior, transfer from Liberty, who averaged 11.6 rebounds, to come in and really give you a big boost.
Newby with the steal. Ole Miss now leads it by 4.
Yeah, I call him Martavius the Winner Newby. Only 6'3", but had 12 points and 12 boards in the win at Memphis, part of the NCAA tournament run. He's a guy that makes winning plays.
Traveling violation. Back to Ole Miss.
On the line, up the line, out of the passing lane. And no need for him to dunk, just taking care of business. 6'3", 218-pound senior out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Last year was second on this team in rebounds. Once again, just been dynamite on the glass, averaging over 5 a game from that guard position. Moody. Yellow. Another one. Now he's getting it going. Yellow with 9 on 3 of 3 behind the arc.
You know, Coach Cunningham has his team prepared. They went over multiple sets last night, but it's very hard to prepare for Ole Miss because they'll flip their sets where if you're prepared one way, they'll run it the exact opposite way.
Holloman can't handle the pass.
Here's an example right here. Yellow actually switched his angle of the screen, and you have to be concerned about Stephon Moody, which allows the spacing for Yellow to knock down the three-pointer.
Moody. Brutus baseline jumper. Well, I think that's a bonus for Andy Kennedy right now to get some point production from Terry Brutus.
Well, and if you're an Ole Miss fan, it's good to see that from him, recovering from foot and knee injuries.
He's played in just 2 games this year. Traveling violation. 4 straight turnovers by Troy has allowed Ole Miss to open this up to a 9-point game. Good look at Andy Kennedy. Boy, one of the underrated coaches in this league. Averaging almost 22 wins per season. Ole Miss gives it right back to Troy.
You see they have 7 assists on 9 field goals made, and I'm in agreement. Coach Andy Kennedy, obviously, after he did such a good job for Cincinnati, obviously wanted that job. But when he didn't get the job, ended up coming over here to Ole Miss, and wow, has he really changed the trajectory and the expectations of this program.
That new building is going to do nothing but help this program take that next step. Loose ball foul on Bernardo underneath.
And if you're Troy right now, and let's remember, you see Coach Phil Cunningham there. When he first got there in 2012-13 season, there were 12 of 13 scholarship players were junior college transfers. And Chancellor Hawkins and then A.D. John Hartwell wanted to change the makeup of the roster, so they're building. It's going to take time, but they're doing it the right way, Dave.
Well, he's got some nice young pieces. Here's one of them right here in Bernardo. He'll head to the free throw line. You look at Wesley Persons, a sophomore. Bernardo's a freshman. Guys you can build around. Right now, Ole Miss building their lead to 9. 7:44 to go, opening half. Timeout on the floor. Back in a moment. Later on the SEC ESPN Network, our college basketball tripleheader rolls on at 6 Eastern with Clemson and Georgia. And finally at 8, Ben Simmons and LSU host American. Both games are also streaming live on the ESPN app. Don't look now, but Georgia getting healthy. Could be a very good team. Speaking of being very good, if Tomas Giello keeps doing this,
Giello, if you notice this at home for young kids, the best way to get open is to go set a screen. It keeps your man active on the other guy. Once there's help, it allows you to get open and knock down shots. Giello showing you a prime example of that.
What I've noticed, too, is also some ball reversal there. How important is that into making shots?
Well, Coach Andy Kennedy was talking to us about it this morning at the shoot-around. You know, the best players in the world on the first side of the floor only shoot around 38%. As the ball reversals improve, so do the percentages. So that has happened on his team. His team shoots about 37% on the first side of the floor, but if they reverse it 2 or more times, that shoots up to 50+%, showing you how important ball reversals and ball movement are.
Think about that, kids at home. You reverse the ball at least twice, you make 50% or more of your shots.
You move the defense, giving you a chance to shoot wide open versus contested shots. And now Coach Cunningham goes to a 1-2-2 pressure and gets a turnover.
Andy Kennedy knew that was coming. His players weren't quite ready, but he knew it. He practiced it today. Another turnover. Person had it blocked by Newby. Count it. Andy Kennedy worked on this today. He told us, he goes, this is what they're going to do to us at some point. And Troy jumped him in 2 quick turnovers.
Well, they're very active, 42nd in the nation in creating steals, and this is one of the ways that they manufacture points. A nice job by Holloman getting out into the passing lane.
Here's Brooks now. Jaime in the corner. Perez will shoot the 3 and knock it down. (24-18), 6:57 to go here in the first half. Ole Miss shooting 42%, Troy up to 44%. Trojans have yet to hit a 3 in this one now. And a reach-in foul, that will go against Hyman. That'll be his first.
Well, this is a nice job of moving the basketball. There's the ball reversal we talked about. Inside, you saw 1, 2, 3, 4 players looking at Marcanvis Hyman, which allowed Anthony Perez to get open on the trifecta.
Person picks up the loose ball. Fortunate for Troy. Reverse layup by Peace won't go, but the tap does go down by John Walton III.
I like this team from Troy out of the Sun Belt. Young team, 63% of their points coming from underclassmen. A bright future for this team if they're able to keep the guys and just continue to help them mature. Here's good penetration on the inside. Daniel Peace, known as a defensive player. And there goes the guy we've been talking about, John Walton III. 19 rebounds in his last game with 22 points.
19 rebounds is one off their school record. Giello.
Right pass, Giello just rushed it once he got it inside.
Miller just checked in. He'll go ahead and try to get his first shot up. Nearly cracked the side of the backboard.
Yeah, just not a good shot. And that's what Coach Cunningham told us, is that they need to get a little bit more out of their depth. Some of their first-year guys. And right now, they're just getting accustomed to Coach Cunningham in their first year with him.
Miller, the freshman out of Meridian, Mississippi. Here's Perez, couple of bumps underneath. That would definitely fall into the category of freedom of movement.
You think?
Yeah.
Coach Andy Kennedy talked to us about that as well. You mentioned freedom of movement. Memphis came in scoring about 29 points a game from the free throw line. That's one of the ways they beat Memphis. Ole Miss fouls the fewest times in the SEC, only 18 times per game.
Here's Miller. Holloman now. Ole Miss, nice job getting back on defense. Stopping that first look in transition. Person's yet to get it cranked up. Wesley just 4 points. Here's Holloman trying to go baseline, nothing there. Person gets that shot away, didn't draw anything. It was a three, but the follow won't go. Loose ball taken away by Rasheed Brooks.
Solid. You can tell the Rebels right now aren't rebounding as well, but they're doing it by committee with Saiz out.
Steph Moody just 2 points for Ole Miss. 1 out of 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from the floor. Averaging almost 24 a game. Foul on the floor against the Rebels. That'll go against Anthony Perez. And Sebastian Saiz going to make his first appearance with the goggles. When he rolled into shoot-around today, shoot-around had already started this morning. And he rolled in with the goggles. And a few folks chuckles as he rolled in.
Well, I'm sure right now the Rebels are excited to see him. You know, he did not practice yesterday because of the scratch on his eye, but he's got those goggles there to protect him. He was cleared to play this morning.
.69 junior out of Spain, averaging 11 points, 10 rebounds a game. Moody's really struggled here in the opening half. Saiz trying to post up underneath. That one's battered around and taken out of there by B.J. Miller. He's in the open floor. A 6-foot point guard will get it to Wesley Person. Bernardo, nice strong move. He's just 6'6".
Listen, he's the young man who's 4th among freshmen in field goal shooting, and that's what the staff said that they really was nervous about for Ole Miss, how efficient he was when he received the basketball.
His brother Jarvis playing professionally in Italy right now. That's off the mark. Rebound into Person's hands. Up ahead to Bernardo. He'll lay it up and in. Couple of quick baskets by Jordan Bernardo. He now has 6. Perez the other way. His layup is good. And count the basket. Phil Cunningham didn't think there was any contact. He thought Perez fell down. He can't believe it. Ole Miss with a chance for a 3-point play when we come back. Those two guys had some experiences here in the Tad Pad. I've had some. I was here one time, by the way, when a roof leaked. Actually called the game off because the roof leaked. How about that? That's my memory. Andy Kennedy in that huddle. He has been kind enough to put a mic on for us today, so he's mic'd up. Let's listen into a prior timeout, what he had to tell his team.
If we will not turn it over, leading them to layups, come on, guys. That's what frustrates me. What do we talk about in there? Ball movement, clean looks. Ball movement, clean looks. We kind of get into ourselves. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It don't work. Ball movement, clean looks. Just keep guarding.
So what we were talking about earlier, ball movement. It's a key to this offense. It's a key to what Andy Kennedy wants and stresses. And he's a guy that really studies the game, says he reads a lot about it, not just a college game, but the pro game, what works and what doesn't. And, I mean, the numbers sometimes don't lie.
Yeah, layman's terms, he's saying we've got 7 turnovers. If we don't turn over the basketball, you're actually playing good defense. They're going to have trouble to score.
Right.
And that's very important. I thought it was critical in the game last night. Dana Altman and Oregon stopped pressing against Alabama and made them score in the half court, which I knew would be more challenging without Shannon Hale. I think he brings so much to that basketball team. And Ole Miss kind of doing that today. They're turning it over and allowing Troy to score easy baskets at the rim.
Good set out of the timeout as Person buries his first 3 of the game. Wesley now with 7, 3 out of 5 from the field, and Troy takes the lead by 1.
I have yet to see a person, pun intended, out of Brantley, Alabama, who cannot stroke it, and Wesley Person no different.
In and out, no good. Rebound right to Ariri. Ariri out of Canada, the sophomore at 6'8". A couple of 6'8" players on this Troy team coming off the bench. Bernardo.
Nice.
Boy, Troy looking very confident here on the road, up by 3. Moody. Boy, somehow, some way, it's almost like Ole Miss needs to get Moody going.
Well, they need to, because Bernardo, look at him seal up and high away from the basket early and receives his reward late against Hyman. And you're exactly right, Dave. I mean, a guy like Moody has to get going, but he's a guy who can pick it up quick. 19 points in the second half. It doesn't take him long to manufacture points.
Giello checks in. Sam Finley will check in as well. Perez and Hyman to the bench for Ole Miss. Now remember Moody, to tell you the kind of streak he has been on and why it's kind of shocking that he's sitting here with 3 points looking for number 4 is the fact that he had 6 straight games of 20-plus points. He has gone over 29 times this year. They've only played 11 games.
Yep, all but 2, a couple of games of 30 points. And, you know, he kind of picks and chooses his turn to take over basketball games, especially since moving to the point guard position.
Moody gets up high and taps that one away. You won't see that anywhere in the box score, but Saiz almost threw it away. Finley, blocking foul against Troy. That'll go into B.J. Miller. His first, and Finley will toe the line.
Well, I thought that Sam Finley picked it up quite a bit when they were in a tournament. He didn't play before the Seton Hall game, and when he did not play, he actually, before the George Mason game, and he actually came back in that George Mason game, scored 10 points, 4 rebounds. We know he's a guy that can put up some numbers, but he's still getting accustomed to Coach Andy Kennedy and vice versa.
Tenth meeting between these two teams. Troy has yet to win against the Rebels. They lost last year. Newby with the throwdown. These teams played in Troy last year. And the Rebels won by 10. Nice little spurt by Ole Miss to reclaim the lead by 2. Defense leading to some offense.
Did we tell you his name was Winner Newby? A nice job of getting out into the pass lane, and he figures, last time I laid it up, I'll throw this one down. Nice job by Newby, the veteran, for Ole Miss.
Well, tonight at 11 on the SEC ESPN Network, join our network analysts as they discuss all the SEC news of the day on SEC Now. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, Ole Miss now shooting 41%, but problem is Troy, which got off to a 3-for-11 start, has now pushed it out to 46.5%, despite shooting just 1-for-7 from behind the arc.
They're much more balanced this year, year 3. They got 9 high school signees, 3 junior college players, so they've got 1 senior. Changed the complexion of this university quite a bit.
Blocking foul underneath. They're going to count the basket or not. Let's see what they decide to do with it. They're going to count it. Daniel Peace will head to the line.
Well, this is why you call a timeout right before the half like Coach Cunningham did. And Newby definitely still trying to get in there and Nice play for Coach Cunningham and Troy as they have maybe another possession or two before the half.
Yeah, they've had a couple of nice plays out of timeouts this afternoon. Peace can't convert, 40% at the line. How does a guy who is 6'1", junior, he is now 13 of 33 at the line.
It's just more time he needs to be in the gym. And Troy's doing a good job of defending and getting to the 50-50 balls right now.
Andy Kennedy just shakes his head. Newby with a push, and that'll send Troy back to the free throw line, and Daniel Peace, this may be a good sign for Ole Miss if you send Peace to the line, especially in a 1-on-1 situation.
Well, everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses. Right now, something he needs to work on is his shooting.
You are so kind.
But what he's good at is defending. 32nd in the nation, steals per game, and that's what the coaching staff said last night, that he is an incredible and tenacious defender. Just has to get in the gym and continue to work on that stroke, and he heard you.
Yeah, looks good on that one. So I see that, and then it makes you just go, how in the world have you only made 14 of 34 at the line? That does not look hard. Hey, guess what? His percentage just went up, though.
What are you tough, Dave?
Finley. Yellow had a good little spurt early in the game. Hit 3 threes. Been quiet since. Moody inside. Saiz trying to post up. Knocked out of there. Ford. Shot clock is turned off. 23 seconds before halftime. Troy with a 1-point lead.
You can tell the way Saiz is playing a little bit that he's not 100%. The important news was the Hornet was not scratched, but anytime as an athlete you have a little something wrong that throws your routine off a little bit, you can tell it's affecting him. Number 11 in white.
Here's Peace, 8 seconds now. Peace underneath, won't go, tap won't go, and that won't go either. Steph Moody averaging almost 24 a game, just 4 in the first half, 5 shots for Stephon Moody. Troy takes a 1-point lead after 20 minutes of basketball. It's 32-31, Troy out in front. Time now to get you to our studio. Peter Burns, take it away. Fishback, and tell you what, maybe Ole Miss a little nervous about closing the tad pad down because they little sloppy basketball. They had a little spurt though early on, gave you a little hope if you're a Rebel fan, but overall I think the first 20 minutes not exactly what Andy Kennedy drew up.
No, I think you got to give a lot of credit to Troy. They came in prepared to play, but I agree at the same time it was very sloppy. A lot of turnovers for the Rebels. If it weren't for Giello, they'd be in some trouble here in the first half.
Yeah, the senior graduate transfer, certainly at 6'9", could give you a little pump from the outside.
Well, he did what Coach Andy Kennedy expected him to do once coming here on campus. He knocked down open shots. Listen, they probably spent 45 minutes of practice yesterday getting up game-like shots that paid dividends here this afternoon. He is a pick-and-pop guy. And then for Troy, they really turned it up on the defensive end. A nice job of staying in the passing lane, making sure they were gritty. On and off of turnovers, the senior you saw Walton the third there, getting out in the passing lane as well. And then Holloman with a nice finish at the rim, turning good defense into offense.
See if Giallo can get some help offensively, and Troy will get the basketball here to open up the second half. But I think the other big story in this game, maybe the biggest story, is Steph Moody. Just 4 points, averaging 24 a game. Good ball fake. Couldn't get the shot off, but a foul on Newby. Take a look at these first half stats. Troy shoots 47%, and that's after they started the game 3 for 11.
Well, and you see they're 1 of 7 from the three-point line. So defensively, they did a good job, Ole Miss, but points in the paint, that's where Cunningham, the head coach of Troy, has been going, and they've been successful.
By the way, Newby just picked up his 3rd foul. He will stay on the floor, at least for the moment. All right, how do you get Moody going?
Well, one way is that you have Sebastian Saiz in the basketball game.
Right.
Those two work fairly well together because teams can just concentrate on Stephon Moody for the most part when Sebastian Saiz out of the game. Now with Saiz in the game, they'll have to focus on his presence as well.
Newby with those 3 fouls gets it to the rim and it goes down. Ole Miss up by 1.
And Newby was fortunate. He stuck the arm out, but fortunately for him, Holloman didn't fall.
Bernardo, he had a nice finish to the first half. Moody comes in there and takes it away. Moody. Oh, a nice pass. Rasheed Brooks buries the jump shot. I thought for sure Moody was going to shoot that.
Well, that's the difference of him playing the point guard position now. He's so unselfish. He's really relishing in that role, Dave.
Holloman. That's way off the mark. Saiz with the rebound. Bailo. Saiz spins. Got it to go. Sebastian Saiz with his first shot of the game and his first basket.
Yeah, he made that one like he's supposed to be there. You know, Stephon Moody's their MVP, most valuable player, but Sebastian Saiz will probably be the next most important player because he does provide inside presence.
Moments of the second half. Rebels with a good start here in the second half.
Well, they've done a much better job on the defensive end. You see Stephon Moody trying to get himself going, getting out, getting his hands, and then he comes down on the break and he decides to defer. A nice job of Rasheed Brooks being ready and prepared to knock down that jump shot. And he's a guy who can score extremely well. And then Sebastian Saiz getting into the mix a little bit as well, giving you some of that inside presence that we talked about for the Ole Miss Rebels.
You know, it's pretty easy to see how Ole Miss is taking the lead here. They're 3 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Troy 0 for 3. Coming up later on the SEC ESPN Network, our college basketball triple header rolls on at 6 Eastern with Clemson and Georgia. And then at 8, Ben Simmons and LSU will host American. Both games also streaming live on the ESPN app. Well, we talk about some of the hype players. Ben Simmons came in about as hyped as anybody.
Well, and he's really lived up to the hype, and we know that those other 3 players worked out extremely well. All of them playing very good at the next level, and Ben Simmons, I think, really relishing in that role. All of the hype, all of the pressure, now that he has Hornsby beside him as well as Craig Victor, I think this team will be off to the races. And they have a nice challenge against Devin Martin as well.
Moody with the basketball. Steph takes it inside, draws the contact. Andy Kennedy wants goaltending, won't get it.
Again, we talked about Ole Miss turning up their pressure a little bit. Moody at the right place at the right time for the steal and then the Euro step. And if you're a young player in college basketball right now, attack the paint should be a priority for you with the extended arc underneath the basket out from 3 feet to 4 feet this year. It is very difficult to draw a charge now.
You like that or not? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's made a tremendous difference. You have less collisions where people can get hurt. You brought the block shot back into the basketball game because you don't have so many guys trying to take charges, and right now it's helped Ole Miss to an 8-0 run.
Person. Holloman now off the basket. Got it to go. Troy's first points of the second half. Well, points are up in college basketball. A lot of reasons for it. Newby's tap is good. Despite playing with 3 fouls, still aggressive to the rim.
You love to see guys that play bigger than they are, and Newby's one of those guys.
Peace answers for Troy. Peace now with 9 in the game. Bernardo leads Troy with 10. On the flip side, Gaiello with 11. Newby with 10. Moody. His first 3 of the game. Give him 9.
Certain players in the game of college basketball or on any level that are able to flip that switch. On the collegiate level, Moody is one of those guys.
Newby will try for 3. Gaiello.
Well, Gaiello goes up with one hand, doesn't quite get it, but the second jump with 2.
Ole Miss has pushed it out to 10, their largest lead of the afternoon. Gaiello now with 13 for the Rebels.
Well, Dave, right now, Stephon Moody in the tag pad, turning it up a notch, and we know this is the final game, but Moody and the Ole Miss Rebels want to make it like Sam Hunt. They want to turn it into a house party.
Lead to 10. They trailed by 1 at halftime, and that'll certainly make their head football coach a happy man. As Hugh Freeze in the building tonight as he gets to witness the last game played in Tad Smith Coliseum. Let his team go for the Christmas break, and then it's off to the Sugar Bowl after the holiday. He was hanging out down the square today with Ricky Stenhouse and Danica Patrick. He said Danica was going crazy at some of the shots today.
Well, Coach Hugh Freeze and the football in the SEC is now building and running over to the basketball. We're accustomed to good football in this conference, but now basketball turned it up a notch, Dave. Mark Wentworth, Commissioner Slive helped do this on his way out, and Greg Sankey continuing to follow as well. But so many teams in the top RPI now, they're playing challenging schedules, taking some L's, but keeping themselves up and available to make that NCAA tournament.
You know, it's interesting that, you know, you used to have to build that RPI up in non-conference play, because sometimes in this league in years past, if you got to January and you didn't have a lofty RPI, it was hard to help yourself out to make that run if you were maybe sluggish in non-conference play. But now with so many teams in the top 50, LSU, for instance, has a chance to help themselves out.
Multiple opportunities for quality wins.
Great job by this league in building the non-conference slate. Boy, good work on the backboard that time by Jordan Bernardo. But kudos to Mark Whitworth, Commissioner Mike Slive, and new Commissioner Greg Sankey. Those guys have been big advocates of getting this league headed in the right direction, and certainly we're starting to see that pay off now. Saiz didn't think he fouled anybody. Andy Kennedy gives it that stare. Boy, we've seen that over the years.
Well, he realizes that Saiz is, you know, he's playing injured. It'll take some time. You know, he's got that headband above, and then he's playing with goggles. You're not used to having that, and your eyes messing with you a little bit. Kudos to Sebastian Saiz for playing through it. On the other hand, if I'm Troy, I'll try to go at him as much as possible and test him.
Oliver wanted a foul. Nothing happening. Moody pull up 3. That's off the mark.
Nice job by Holloman. being right there on the other side of the screen.
Tie up, Arrow will keep it with Ole Miss. Great crowd in here to wrap up 50 years of basketball inside the Tad Pad.
Dave, I don't think it can help but bring excitement. The same thing happened at Auburn. That hasn't transitioned into wins yet, but Coach Bruce Pearl doing a great job there as well. It'll come over time. Woo, nice pass.
And the finish from John Walton III. Peace goes behind the back in traffic, and a foul by Peace on the other end.
Well, Peace going in. He said, "You're talking about my free throw days, but what about these passing skills, huh?" And Walton III ready to receive.
It is the season of giving.
'Tis the season.
Giello wide open for the three, couldn't get it to go. Brooks will give it a shot. That won't go. Person the long rebound. Giello got off to that great start in the first half. Still leads the team with 13. And it'll belong to Ole Miss. Boy, fifth-year senior transfers have become a valuable commodity in college basketball these days. 5, 6 years ago, it was rare to see them, but now you see quite a bit. And if you can find one that can contribute right away, it's just an added bonus. A guy that's played a lot of basketball at the collegiate level. And Giello is one of those guys for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, you look all across the country in this conference. You have multiple guys, and what a fifth-year senior does is they bring you calmness, they bring you experience, which is priceless. They bring you guys who can keep your team on an even keel while you're on the road, and Giello's no difference on this Ole Miss team.
Moody, an excellent free throw shooter. He's at 85%, a career 88.7% shooter at the line. That is currently third all-time in SEC history. Bernardo.
He's solid. Really love his composure when he receives the basketball inside. It's difficult to speed him up. It'll be interesting to see as he goes through the Sun Belt Conference, which is having an incredible year. See Arlington knocking off Memphis and Ohio State.
Can you imagine if, you know, you can't play the what-if game, you know, but what if he was 2 inches taller?
My guess is that, and this is not to be condescending to Troy, but he would be at, you know, probably one of the power conference schools. But some of those schools probably forgot about him because he was a little undersized.
Speaking of little guys, how about Moody at 5'11"? J.J. Frazier, 5'10". These guys are putting up some pretty impressive numbers.
Well, these are some of my guys that are undersized, but they play pretty big. Kareem Canty, J.J. Frazier, SEC Player of the Week with 35, and Tyler Ulis, 5 assists per game. Kentucky will continue to compete for championships. They'll do it this year.
Ole Miss, lead is 6. Rebels shooting 42%. Troy 44%. Person right down the lane, fouled. Well, Ole Miss just can't shake this Troy team. They are a scrappy bunch. Sun Belt's going to be a nice league this year.
Well, it certainly will be. Little Rock, of course, has Wes Flanagan. It was at Mississippi State. They had a couple of quality wins as well against DePaul. And you talk about the reason why. I think they're getting high caliber players. I mean, let's take a look at Wesley Person. We talked about his bloodline. Chuck Person, all-time leading scorer and three-point shot maker at Auburn. It's on the staff now. I mean, these are quality guys that could play on, I think, all types of levels.
Perez.
Nice.
Aggressive to the rim.
Anthony Perez for the Rebels.
A perfect chance for a double team in the corner, and Ole Miss fouls Wesley Person. But Anthony Perez a little aggressive on his last move to the basket.
Yeah, this is the year of the senior, and Anthony Perez, no different. He wants to dance back in the NCAA tournament. Ole Miss by 6. In particular, 2-3, 1-1-3. The open areas are going to be, and you see where they're losing the paint points, but picking it up a little bit. The open areas are going to be around that SEC emblem in the middle and around the short corner. That makes the zone close and it attracts the defenders, which allows you open plays. And that's a challenge for Coach Cunningham out of the timeout. And Coach Andy Kennedy does a good job of tweaking defenses, and you see Coach Cunningham there for Troy, frustrated. He's accustomed to coming in here and getting wins for Mississippi State, Dave.
Newby feeds it in the corner, shot off the mark by Perez, and Andy Kennedy throws his arms up in the air.
Troy, number 33, Aaron O'Reilly, his third, 16 foul.
What do you think he's frustrated about, Dave?
Wanted the rebound.
He was an outstanding player at UAB, and Gielo having an outstanding performance. Solid, just doing a good job of knocking down open shots.
Gielo's got an interesting release. He's got the side spin on his shot. Works.
As long as it goes in.
That's not that fishback rotation you teach. Here's Ford. Gielo with a foul. That'll get Kelton Ford to the free throw line.
Well, I give a lot of credit for Ford being relentless in attacking the rim. A lot of times when you're down, you start to settle from the perimeter. The way to claw your way back in games, it's not as pretty, but exactly what he's doing, going to the charity stripe.
John Walton III back on the floor.
Ford actually has the most experience in this team, a couple of years experience, and give credit for Troy, another rebound.
How about Walton just comes back in, slaps that one back out, and Troy gets a free possession out of it.
He knows how to attack the glass. We already mentioned he had 19 rebounds last game. You have to be aware of where he's at.
He's only 6'7" tall. Miller goes baseline, steps on the baseline.
Troy just not quite able to get over the hump in this second half. Right idea, though. Wow.
Long three from Gielo. And a foul against Wesley Person. That'll be his third. Now we're in a 1-on-1 situation. Saiz to the line. Sebastian, 58%. 27 out of 46 this year.
You know, Coach Cunningham said last night, he said that their most challenging speed bumps that they'd faced this year had been the rebounding deficit, allowing teams to get offensive rebounds, and that's what Ole Miss is doing a little bit more in this second half.
Ole Miss +4 in the rebounding department, 30-26. Walton sets a screen. Ford dribbles right into a double team. Troy still has a chance. Plenty of time in the shot clock. There goes Ford. Gets bumped by Saiz.
That's a set play by Coach Cunningham. Both Saiz and Anthony Perez, kind of two big guys. Perez can play the small forward position, but one thing that he's doing, he knows he has guys that are undersized, so he's putting his undersized guys in ball screens where they're more comfortable, and you see the coaching change now. Perez goes out, and Rasheed Brooks actually comes back in to bring a little bit more balance defensively for the Rebels.
Troy down by 8. 9:50 to go in this one. Ole Miss at 9-2 on the year. They've won 6 in a row, coming off an 85-79 win on Memphis a few nights ago at the FedEx Forum. Newby won't go. Saiz followed. Not going to happen. First in the rebound for the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year last season. Person being hounded by Moody.
Nice.
Like John Walton third now. I like his game. I do. He just quietly gets it done.
Well, he's been here before. The lone senior, and he's the guy who you expect to step up on the road.
Boy, Moody just can't seem to get it going. He does have 11 points, but he's 2 of 9 from the field. Walt has it taken right out of his hands by Moody.
First to the floor, gets the ball 99% of the time. Nice look.
Oh, the throwdown from Giello. That's how you run a fast break.
Oh, yeah. You see Giello showing he's got some bunnies upstairs to the top floor.
(56-48), 8:28 to play in the second half. Boy, some good defense by Ole Miss. Moody getting down in there, getting the ball away from Walt.
Well, he just wanted it more. Those are the type of winning plays, 50-50 balls, that actually lead to the big-time dunk by Tomas Giello.
Well, certainly Tad Smith Coliseum shutting the lights off after this one. We talked to Andy Kennedy about some of his fond memories and some of the best games he's been a part of, and he goes back to his opening season. The team had, prior to him coming here, had losing seasons. He talks about a big game against LSU.
Temple runs the baseline. He gets it into Davis in the backcourt. Double team. Back to Temple. Up the floor to Martin. Got to get a foul quick. 9 seconds. Davis. Long pass. Knocked away by Smith. Rebels with a steal. Back to Smith. To Abernathy. Abernathy in the corner to Sanders for 3. Yes! Yes! 0.4 seconds to go. Clarence Sanders hits a 3. Brian Smith. Brian Smith with the great defensive play to get the steal for the Rebels. Todd Abernathy finding Clay Sanders in the right corner.
Boy, talking to him today about those memories, and he talked about that whole season and how the guys like Todd Abernathy hadn't experienced a winning season.
Well, and you see what he's done since he's been here versus what happened before that he got here. 96 seasons versus the 9 seasons. I don't know if there's a better job that's been done in more challenging circumstance. He's taking this program to another level, Dave.
Saiz got it. Offensive foul. Peace doesn't like it.
Foul number 1, Daniel Peace.
Get a feeling like this crowd here is trying to take a little ownership in this game. Excited about the last game here in the Tad Pad. And that's transferable for SEC fans or any fans all over the place. Players can feel that. When you get excited, when you get loud, both the opposing and the home teams recognize it. And Peace is now fouled out, 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists.
Lead back up to 10. Matches their largest lead of the game. Troy is led by as many as 4. They led by 1 at the break. Matter of fact, that was their last lead, 32-31. Moody. Now with 14. Can he hit the 20-point mark? 6 straight 20-point games for Stephon Moody. Reverse layup, nifty from Wesley Person.
Yeah, outstanding job. Known as a shooter. We talk about guys that can put it up. He had 22 and a half with 6 threes in their previous game versus Payne, so he can get hot as well.
Off the back of the iron. Chased down by B.J. Miller. B.J. It'll be Ole Miss basketball. Bounced off a Rebel. Troy basketball bounced off a Rebel. Troy trying to pick up their shooting percentages a little bit this half. Just 7 of 17 from the field. Neither team has shot well from behind the arc. Troy today just 1 of 11.
Well, Coach Cunningham said that they've been a little inconsistent, and you see another turnover there. That's what they're looking for, but that's what you expect from younger teams. You've got to find some chemistry or rhythm and develop more consistency.
Not a good possession for Brooks. He couldn't hang on to the basketball a couple of times. There's a foul. They're going to say goaltending. Yeah, the backboard was slapped. Giello slapped the backboard.
I think this may be the most goaltending calls I've ever seen in a basketball game. Our 3rd goaltending call of the day, and it was the correct call. And that score allows Troy to set back up into their 1-2-2 pressure and slow the Rebels down to try to take a little bit more momentum.
There's that trap again. Up to Person. His layup is good. Moody kicks it in the corner. Giello inside. Hangs in the air.
Nice. You know, Dave, Alabama did that in the first half in the Oregon game last night. When you have pressure, you have to make people pay the price for pressing you 94 feet. Ole Miss that time wasn't passive, weren't complacent, but aggressive and assertive against that pressure from Troy.
Giello with 20. He has a new Ole Miss high. At 15 against Seton Hall. Saiz with a rebound.
What a block by Sebastian Saiz.
Blocked again. This time, John Walton III gets back.
Yep, equally good block by John Walton III, not giving up on the play.
Patrick Evans calls a blocking foul before the traveling violation. That'll go against Perez, his third.
One of the places where Stephon Moody has certainly improved his game is his vision and making passes, and Gielo has improved his game by displaying he can put it on the floor and get to the rim.
Holloman at the line, 65%. Holloman today, 8 points. One more free throw, and he will reach double figures for the 8th time this year. Had a high of 25 this year against Austin Peay when he hit 6 of 8 from behind the arc.
Well, he's had 3 20-point games and scored 15 games 4 times, so we know he can put up points.
As fires, rebound, Yellow. Approaching 5 minutes to go in this one. Ole Miss trailed by 1 at the break.
Nice.
Quarter to Newby. Off to Perez. See if they get one more ball rotation.
Troy doing a good job of not gambling and shot a little quick, though, for the Trojans.
Catch and shoot, Holloman. Just talked about his three-point shooting, and he buries that one now with a dozen.
Yeah, the transfer from Pearl River Community College starting to heat up a little bit.
Moody in traffic. Count it.
You know what impresses me so much about that particular play, Dave, is he had the three-point option. Not only does he use the forgotten shot fake, but he attacks the rim. That jump shot hadn't been falling, but he knows the resume and the scouting report precedes him. Shot fake, get the defender in the air, and get to the charity stripe. Three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Saiz to the bench as Moody tries to complete the play. He does. Stephon Moody down. Boy, Moody 7 out of 7 at the free throw line, 17 points. Moody will take a short break with 4:20 to go. Just that media timeout coming at the under 4 break. There goes B.J. Miller with a 3. Just 16% from behind the arc this year. 3 of 18 before knocking that one home.
Well, B.J. Miller has been the bright spot. The point guard from Meridian High School has been a lot of the bench production for the Trojans.
Yellow had a chance for the 3, decided to take it inside, turned it over. 5-point lead for the Rebs. 3:51 to go in the Tad Pad. Tad Smith Coliseum. Over 9,000 on hand today as turn the lights out for Ole Miss men's basketball inside this building. Opened back in 1967, February of 67. Construction, $1.8 million, began in 64. Sean Tuohy, the SEC's all-time assist leader. A lot of dimes in this building. Gerald Glass put on a show against LSU. 53 against Chris Jackson, Shaquille O'Neal and company. And today they went old school. They used to do this, drop the streamers down from the rafters upon introduction. The team would walk through the crowd on the way to the floor. Just reminiscent of some good times of Ole Miss basketball. Because after this one today, they will move across the street into the magnificent new pavilion. Larry Conley, our good buddy, did a lot of TV games with Larry. Scored the first basket here when Kentucky beat Ole Miss 108-65. Johnny Newman, the Coliseum record, 57 points. Andy Kennedy won 80% of his games in this building, 125 and 31. He says it was time. It's time to move.
Well, I think that is the consensus all across the SEC, but I will say this. There has been quite a few outstanding games. You know, 16-1 in those first couple of years when he got here, and the losses were against the Cats both times. Kentucky has held the torch in this league for a very long time.
Well, we'll say in arenas like this, and certainly there are some flaws in a 50-year-old building, but there's not a bad seat in here.
I agree.
Not a bad seat to watch that three go down from Jeremy Holland. Holloman now starting to feel it with 15. He came in averaging a dozen. We got a 2-point game with just a little over 3 minutes to go. Perez with a bump. They're going to call a foul on Person.
Well, and to remind fans of the importance of this basketball game, at the end of the day, Troy is fighting hard. A team that's young and continuing to blossom, as you see the nice jump shot by Holloman. But for Ole Miss, right now you have a 61 RPI. This is a home game against a team that's 200 plus. We talked about how good the SEC had done, but a game like this at home is of critical importance if you're the Rebels.
Perez at the free throw line this year. 78% at the line, gets 1 out of 2. Makes it a 3-point game. He'll be back in with 4 fouls. Perez will take a seat. Troy has hit 3 threes here in the last couple of minutes to close the gap. Holloman to the basket, lays it in. Troy down 1.
Look at the excitement on that bench.
Moody hangs in the air.
Yeah, Moody kind of just turns it up as much as he needs to.
Holloman, no good. Rebound to Brooks. Yellow, top of the key, 3. And a foul against Hyman on the loose ball. That'll put Walton at the free throw line. He's a 79% foul shooter.
Well, give credit where credit is due. Holloman doing an outstanding job of attacking the basket. Look at that excitement on the sideline. A young team who wants to win, but wow, look at the elevation on that layup and attacking the glass. It's what sets him apart. The strength, the speed, combined with the athleticism.
One-and-one situation for John Walton III. Calm, cool, and collected. Transfer in from East Tennessee State College. Coming off a career-high 22 against Payne College in their last outing with those 19 rebounds. And didn't look like he was bashful at all at the line. There's a takeaway. Miller off to Holloman. He lays it up and in. And Troy has a lead by 1, their first lead since intermission. Ole Miss led by as many as 13. Just 6 minutes ago.
Stephon Moody has moved to the point guard position, but you can see why Troy is 42nd in the nation in creating steals, creating good defense, and turning that into good offense. I love the fight in these Trojans. They don't care that it's the last game in the Tad Pad. They're coming in to try to spoil the party.
Coming up later on the SEC ESPN Network, our college basketball triple header rolls on at 6 Eastern. Clemson and Georgia. Then at 8 Eastern, a chance to look at Ben Simmons and the LSU Tigers as they play host to American. Both games also streaming live on the Watch ESPN app.
Dave, two outstanding individuals. LSU, of course, with Ben Simmons, and then, of course, American has Devin Martin that had 34 points, and you see the first lead of this half. Trojans making 5 of their last 6 field goals.
Troy on a 22-8 run, covering 5:45. And the Trojans by 1. Moody, get a little bump. Once again, takes it to that spot.
Wow.
Rebels by 1, 90 seconds to go. Bernardo sets a screen. Here's Holloman. He's had the hot hand. Pull up 3. Got it!
Big time shot. Jeremy Holloman, redshirt junior out of Gulfport, Mississippi.
Moody, hop step. Again to the same spot. Tied at 73. Person. Shot clock at 10. Holloman, another screen from Bernardo, knocked away. It'll belong to Troy. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout, Phil Cunningham.
Well, right now, I like the timeout call, but guys, do you know that are 5'10", 179 pounds, and just big boy you. But Jeremy Holloman saying, you're not going to outdo me at 6'3", 195 pounds. Look at that bench. You think they want to win? No, this is a different play. We promise you. But Moody doing the exact same thing, using that big size and athleticism to get to the rim.
There's our game reset. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Possession arrow favors Troy. Moody, by the way, now with 23 points. Right about his average. But it's been Holloman. He has been the story here the last 6 minutes for Troy. Without him, this is a completely different ball game.
Well, Dave, there's going to be a couple of conversations in this huddle right here. Coach Phil Cunningham is going to set up a play probably to get Holloman the basketball. With that being said, what you're concerned about is the offensive rebound. On the other hand, if you're Ole Miss, all you have to do is defend for 4 seconds. And this is a look at the shot clock. 4 seconds left. Looks like our officials are taking a look. Just trying to make sure that they get it exactly right, realizing the importance of this basketball game.
Patrick Evans, our crew chief. And we're just being told they're checking on possession right now. Newby slapped it away. It appeared from the initial contact that Newby hit it, but boy, I tell you, it almost looked like Holloman kind of dragged it through. Yeah. Take another look at it. Is his hand still on the basketball?
Woo! That is a close one.
You know, the call was Troy basketball. I don't know if there's enough to overturn. But certainly we're taking another look. I didn't realize it was this close. It's just hard to see at that angle.
Very difficult to see, especially to overturn it.
Patrick Evans on your left, Glenn Tewitt on your right.
You talk about a call that can change this basketball game. Either way, you know you have another possession if you're Ole Miss, but for Troy.
And now they're going to bring Mark Ellard. See if two fresh eyes can determine something. I'll tell you, to me, it's so, I can just tell by the body language, it's so difficult to make that call right now. I think that you almost, if you can't determine it by now, if it's not this clear cut, the crowd's looking at it again. Now we've blown it up again and again. Let's see, is his hand still on the basketball?
Right there is where they're looking. Is his hand still on the basketball? Right there. That's the question.
Now, going back to the original play, I remember Newby, when he knocked it out of there, immediately said it was off Troy. But, you know, most guys will always, I remember you playing, you always said the other guy knocked it out. But
well, and a lot of people complain when officials take a long time. You have to remember the situation that we're currently in. This is the last game in the tag pad. This is an Ole Miss team that's won 6 straight. This is an Ole Miss team that has an RPI of 61. A loss here, very detrimental, not just from the momentum, but if you look at NCAA opportunities. So I'm glad that the veteran officiating crew has taken the time. And the crowd boos, but we have a veteran officiating crew here, combined 16 NCAA tournaments and over 60 years of experience out here.
I agree with this crew. Obviously, the home crowd here, not so much. But I just think that there was not indisputable video evidence to overturn what the call was. So 4 seconds on the shot clock. Holloman will inbound it. Ole Miss comes up with the takeaway. Shot clock is turned off in a tie ball game.
No timeout by Coach Andy Kennedy. Who do you think's taking this shot, Dave?
I think 42 in white.
I'd run 2 at him if I'm Troy.
There he goes.
Oh,
Moody
my goodness.
to the basket. Blocked by Person. 3.7 seconds left. Ole Miss will have it.
Now you've got a timeout if you're Coach Andy Kennedy with 3.7 seconds left. He may not want to allow Coach Cunningham to set up his defense.
And now I think we're going to go back to the monitor and make sure that we get the correct call on the possession.
Sure. Wow, he is explosive.
From what we can see there, nobody touched it after the block by Person. Yeah, Saiz didn't touch it.
And that one looks pretty easy.
So you got 3.7 seconds. Whew. All right, so if you're Andy Kennedy, obviously everybody in the building's thinking Steph Moody here. One more look at it.
Well, they want to see this other angle. They're trying to see if off the bounce, did Saiz get his hands on it?
Oh, oh, way. But
the question is,
did the ball hit the line before Saiz touched it? Let's see. Where did the ball?
And does B.J. Miller have his hands on it as well?
Okay, here we go. Ooh, from that angle, Saiz looks like he touched it.
Looks like he got it last. It's another close one. Looks like both he and Miller had their hands on the basketball. And then Saiz looked like he had the last fingertip. It's a tough one again to overturn the initial call.
Boy, I tell you what, Patrick Evans, last couple of minutes. And once again, Glenn Tewitt going to call in Mark Ellard. fouls in play. Sai's right hand. I got to tell you, that looks like Sebastian
Looks like Sai's touched it last. Both he and Miller had their hands on, but it looks like number 11 in white, Sai's does touch it last.
Crowd getting a little restless.
It's the right call.
Yep.
Here we go. Now, if you're Ole Miss, obviously they were being prepared, and Coach Andy Kennedy down there with Patrick Evans obviously fighting for his guys. 3.7 seconds. We remember Tyus Edney with UCLA. That's plenty of time to get it all the way down the court. So we'll see what Coach Cunningham and the Trojans draw up for the last play.
3.7 seconds. Here you go. Miller launches at the horn, just short. And we have free basketball.
Oh, yeah. Last game in the Tad Pad.
You don't want the lights to go out yet, do you?
This deserves another 5 minutes. Well, nice job of just shadowing B.J. Miller by Moody, and just comes up short. Actually had a good look.
So after 40 minutes of hoops, we're stuck at 73. Gives us an opportunity to get it to the studio. Peter, take it away. Back in a moment. In a row. Coming off that 85-79 win over Memphis. Troy at 5-5 could use a big boost before they hit Sun Belt play. This is their last non-conference game. Moody gets to his spot. That one won't go. Rebound. Pulled out of there by John Walton III. He now has 6 boards.
Big shot.
Ooh, Bernardo buries a 3. Moody. Yellow. That's short. Rebound to B.J. Miller.
In the overtime periods, the team that strike first is usually the more successful team. And right now, Troy has been confident. They were allowed to hang around. And Ole Miss has got a fight on their hands. Nice look.
Bernardo can't convert that lay-in.
For the Rebels now, no need to panic and continue to settle from outside. The success has been playing the game inside out. And here of late, besides Moody, they've been shooting everything from the outside.
Another 3 off the mark. Brooks was short with that. And Troy with a 3-point lead will walk it up the floor. Holloman with 22, Person 13, Bernardo 17. Walton, boy, right at the free throw line, a little too strong. Yellow in the corner. Newby with 4 fouls. Chases it down. Off to Saiz. Foul. He'll head to the free throw line.
Intriguing to see for Ole Miss. Most of the guys from the perimeter, Rasheed Brooks, Tomas Gielo, even Stephon Moody, except when he was penetrating before, settling from the perimeter. It took Newby, the guy who I said is the biggest winner on this basketball team, a couple of NCAA tournaments to finally attack and go to the basket.
Brooks to the bench. Perez back on the floor. Saiz didn't start today after having his eyes scratched against Memphis a few nights ago, wearing the goggles, playing here in the overtime. It's a one-point game. Miller chases it down. There's a double team. Person to the basket. His layup is good. Give him 15.
Like the chess move of the 1-3-1, but give Troy credit. They did not turn it over, even though it caught them by surprise a little bit.
Yellow. Got it! Tied at 78. .154 on the game clock, 21 on the shot clock. Giello with 23 behind 5 threes.
Well, Stephon Moody draws so much attention, and Giello hands, feet ready, and set.
Miller to Person. Shot clock down to 7. Person, long 3. Giello the rebound.
Yeah, they're having trouble. Giello 6'9", Perez 6'9". That's pretty big on the wings.
Ole Miss will take a timeout with 1:28 in overtime. We are tied at 78. Back to Tad Smith Coliseum after this. Time now to take a look at our Good Hands Play of the Day, brought to you by Allstate. And Steph Moody involved in this in a couple of ways. First, the steal on the defensive end, and then he does a little offensive work, helping out his teammate.
Well, you know, those are winning-type plays, and a splendid dunk by Tomas Giello. He has been playing sensational basketball this afternoon. Coming out, he was actually one of the top 25 European prospects, member of the Polish national team. And this young man has been instrumental in keeping Ole Miss in this basketball game. And we most certainly have a shootout, old-fashioned shootout, here in the Tad Pad.
Giello, by the way, with a new career high. He had, or matching his career high, I should say, at 23 when he was playing at Liberty, and he has that number here tonight for Ole Miss.
Oh,
Moody to the basket. Can't get it to go, and then he fouls Person. And Person will head down to shoot some free throws, and he is excellent at the line at 84%.
Well, this is what you expect from your senior, slippery and getting into the defense, but an outstanding job of helping by Wesley Person. And after that, the frustration foul, and you send an 84% free throw shooter to the line.
For 2. Double bonus.
If you've ever seen Chuck Person and Wesley Person, you know that they love these type of moments.
2-point Trojan lead. 1:15 on the clock. Saiz with a screen. Giello gets it back to Moody. Perez in the corner.
1 minute to play.
Giello trying to get it to Saiz. Goes with the left hand. Got it to go. His best move of the night.
Showing you how important he is to this team.
Saiz with 9. Tied at 80. Miller. Moody knocks it away. And then a foul on Walton. And if that is Walton, that'll be number 5. It is.
You know, Dave, I've seen a lot of college basketball this year, and I can't tell you how many times a chess move of a 1-3-1 zone or a 2-3 zone has helped. Against the zone here, you're seeing Sebastian Saiz establish himself inside, but I love coaches who have those different types of defenses. You see here, pandemonium, just really discombobulated on behalf of the Trojans, and it's just like a baseball player. You've got to have a fastball, a changeup, knuckleball, curveball, something that the other teams don't expect, and it pays dividends for Andy Kennedy and Ole Miss here.
Saiz knocks the first one home. Sebastian in double figures now. Boy, barely played any minutes in the first half, but sitting on 10 points and 8 rebounds. Boy, if you're Ole Miss, you better protect the three-point line. 33 seconds on the game clock. 2-point game.
Wesley Person is the guy you want to keep your eye on. Anthony Perez is guarding him. And I like the timeout called by Coach Phil Cunningham.
Tomas Giello has matched his career high. The graduate transfer has hit 5 threes this afternoon.
Well, he did it in a lot of ways, but mostly from behind the three-point line. Nice stroke. You see him out running the floor. Unselfishness displayed by Stephon Moody, not once but 2 times in the shot fake and showing you he can take you off of the bounce, absorb contact. And here he is on the receiving end from Stephon Moody again, knocking down the trifecta one more time. An experienced guy, 15 out of 21 starts his freshman year at Liberty, 31 out of 32. And then coming here and now showing his veteran leadership here today.
Boy, Holloman had a nice run for Troy right before the end of regulation. Got him back. Remember, Troy trailed by 13 at 61-48 with 7.5 minutes to go in the game to force overtime. Holloman, the key component there. He's been quiet here since overtime started. He will inbound the basketball. They get it to Kelton Ford.
And now Ole Miss switches back to the man-to-man out of the timeout. Watch for the offensive rebound on the shot here.
Now Holloman with it, telling everybody to clear out. Holloman in traffic. Can't get the layup to go. 7 seconds to play and a foul against Troy. Holloman got to the rim.
Right idea. He has nothing to put his head down about. Like the crossover. Actually, pretty bad defense by Ole Miss. Obviously, they're trying to guard against the three-pointer, so they wanted to play aggressive. But if you're Holloman, just came up a little long on that layup.
Boy, if you're Phil Cunningham, hard to argue with that kind of shot. He got right to the basket. Just couldn't convert. And now, Troy wants a timeout, their final one. That was a big miss right there. With 6.9 seconds, you at least have a chance, make or miss here for Troy.
Well, what this does is it gives Coach Cunningham a chance for two things. Number one, you set your play up on make or miss. Number two, you give Anthony Perez a little time to think about this free throw shot as a 78% free throw shooter. On the other hand, for Coach Andy Kennedy, if they do make this free throw, the question will be, will he call a timeout to have a chance to set up his defense on the make?
So Perez at the free throw line will try to knock this home. Perez today just 1 out of 4 at the line. He came in a 78% foul shooter on the year. Not a whole lot of attempts, just 11 of 14, but has struggled today.
I like the strategy by Coach Cunningham. 1 of 4, give him a little time to think about it. You're Anthony Perez, you're a senior, you've been here before.
Got it. B.J. Miller with the basketball. Here we go. Person. No good. Ole Miss survives Troy. And the lights will go out in Tad Smith Coliseum with an 83-80 win over Troy in overtime.
An impressive win, a very important win. Let's remember defensively, not sure if Ole Miss was trying to foul, but Newby got extremely close to Person on that last shot. Solid defense though, but an important win here at home to keep their streak going.
A gutty effort by Troy, but not enough in the end. Ole Miss wins it by 3. So for Damian Fishback, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal. Let's join Matt Stewart, John Pelfrey in Athens, Georgia for Clemson and the Dogs.